Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Jurassic RimWorld Let's Play. So, in today's episode, I think I'd like to take care of this item stash quest here. I don't recall if it said... No, it says there might be danger, but it doesn't tell us that there is or what we can expect. So, we'll just have to kind of go and figure it out. We'll send a decent-sized party just to be sure that they're safe. But that is something I think I'd like to do as soon as our colonists wake up. It is quite late right now, so we won't send them straight away. But because the Leader of the Valley, like, I wasn't really considering this peace talk before, and now that they've attacked us, I definitely don't think we'll do it. But, you know, we'll see, I guess. So, that's just something to keep in mind, but I guess let's get things rolling here, and then when people start to wake up, we'll look at putting together a strike team to go and grab those things. Now, one of them is a Carl Gustav, which is, again, I think I mentioned this last time, but I can never remember like what the exact classification is, because it's not an RPG, because the projectile itself is not a rocket-propelled grenade. I think it's closer to a missile, but that is, like, I think the current standard anti-tank weapon for the U.S. Army is the M2 Carl Gustav, which, I mean, it might be a newer version of it, but anyway, that would be a pretty badass weapon to have. Certainly would help us taking down T-Rexes and stuff, though it would probably just blow it to pieces. So maybe not the best weapon to be using. It might be a one-and-done weapon too. It could, you know, it could be that we only get to fire it once. So, it might not be as awesome as I'm thinking, but we'll see. Because it might be something that just fires really slowly, but it, you know, fires really potent warheads. So it could be incredibly powerful. We'll just have to find out. So while we're waiting for morning, though it is pretty close to morning now, I wanted to mention that a subscriber by the name of Death by Ego has been doing a little bit of testing to see if you can still get prisoners to wear the clothing that you try to give them, because unfortunately it looks like the prison labor mod breaks their AI to a degree, or it changes it so much that they don't behave in the way that they should for a lot of these things. And so from what I understand, from what Death by Ego has told me in his testing, or their testing, we basically need this person doing as little as possible. So I'm going to set them to reduced resistance, so that they're basically just hanging out. We're kind of talking to them like normal. We could even try no interaction, but I believe in their comment they said reduced resistance is what worked for them. So we'll do that. And then we've got the clothing in the stockpile. So we have to just kind of hope that he will eventually interact with it and grab it. The only other thing I can think of is if we were to sort of cheat this, what I could do is, let's see here, recruit. And then once they join us, obviously I can give them orders just like any other pawn. The issue though is it would be a problem to then imprison them afterward. So I don't believe there's any way to have them leave our colony through the dev tools. I can change relations and stuff. I could even kill them and resurrect them, but I don't believe any of that will remove the colonist tag. So if any of you are familiar with a way to make a colonist no longer a colonist without, you know, just making them dead, please let me know, because then we can just recruit him, tell him to put it on, and then unrecruit him through the dev tools. But as far as I know, there's no way to do that. So we have to just kind of hope that not having him work will kind of change his AI a bit. Also, I think it's under restrictions. No, it's not going to be there because we don't have him working. But if we were, Adrian would be on here, and Adrian would need to be set to basically unrestricted all the time so that he eventually decides to just go do what he should be doing. But I guess we'll see if this works. If not, I'll have to try to find another way, which is going to be unfortunate. It's a real bummer too, because in other playthroughs, like for the 40k playthrough, for example. Oh, nice. Trade ship passing by. Let's see what they have, actually. I'm kind of curious. Who's been doing that for us? Gomez, are you awake? I mean, I know you're awake. Are you nearby? Come over here and call them. We'll see what they've got, and then I think we'll send everybody out. Anyways, for the 40k playthrough that we were planning, one thing I was going to do was use prisoners as servitors. So we were going to, you know, go through all the really dark 40k stuff that they do to servitors, like lobotomize them, and I was going to do probably the silent jaws from EPOE as well, so that they can't talk to one another, and plan prison breaks, just to make things a little bit safer for us. But another thing I was going to do is obviously to make them look like servitors, was give them servitor clothing and like headgear that sort of looked like a head plate where they had been operated on. But I don't know how possible that's going to be, because if I'm not using, or if I'm using the prison labor mod, then I don't appear to really have that option. But if I don't use that mod, then the servitors can't actually work for us, and then there's no point in having them. So yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. It's unfortunate. You've got a bunch of these cloth backpacks. I'm gonna buy all of those. Cool. Yeah, I don't care what quality they are. I just want some, and it's easier for me to just buy them for 90 silver than it is to manufacture them at this point. Do I need anything else? I don't know. I could sell them. I have like so much body armor just lying around. I don't particularly like these, so I'm gonna get rid of them. Is there anything else? I think I'll hang on to what I've got. And this is all stuff that we can craft. Not that the backpacks aren't, but again, like, it's easier to just buy them if I know I need a couple. Versus the clothing is a little bit more specific. I could buy more medicine. They have a lot of medicine. Do I have any hyperweave? Oh, I think I will buy some. Oh, I do have some. Okay, because there are certain things, like I believe some of the more advanced surrogate organs require hyperweave. But we do have a little bit, so I think we're okay there. Right, so we're going to spend 200 silver to buy the backpacks. And I'm going to sell that. So, 163 silver. Sure. Let's do it. None of this is dead man's, right? Okay. Works for me. Alright, let's jump back out to the world map, and we'll put together a strike force or task force or whatever kind of force we decide to put together. Riker, you're going to take the lead as usual. We'll send Gomez. I think I'll leave everybody else with the exception of Bruce and Tone. So we'll send those 4 because everybody else has some use at the base. Actually, you know what, Boss, you go too. So we want to obviously have them riding dinos or rhinos. So Riker, you're first, and then I guess Gomez, Boss, Tone. Okay, then we'll choose the route, which is here. It's gonna be a pretty quick trip. And let's see, maybe 10. I'm gonna need to change their what do you call it? Their food allowances. So let's do that real quick. Caravan and caravan, blah blah blah. Caravan. That was Bruce, so just Gomez and Riker, and then we're done. I need to remember to change those when they get back. Okay, now when I do this, we should get it to update. That's 1.4 days. That is enough. Let's give them like 20, just to be totally sure that they have plenty, even if they need to hang out for a while. And a bit of medicine. We'll send them with 24 herbal medicine. Actually, we should probably use those 4 because they're deteriorating, so we'll send that 4 as well. Okay, I think that's good. We've already chosen the route. Apparently it got longer in the couple seconds that took me to set up. But anyways, off you guys go. Actually, it probably just changed because we gave them stuff to carry. Okay. Only 3 days worth of food? Yeah, because it's only a 0.3 day trip. So the full travel should only take like just over half a day. And that gives them essentially 2 to 2.5 days to hang out and rest if they need to. Did we ever get that arcade table done? I don't recall where I put it, or if I was going to put it down. I think I thought about it. Uh-oh. Is it just the one? Yeah, okay, let's mark you for hunting then. And I don't need to be notified of this. It's already it's already trying to kill us. Ooh, Brontosaurus, huh? I think that might be our first penned-in dino. I don't want to mess with these guys. Allison, you're the only one over here that's not supposed to be getting ready for a trip. So I'm going to ask you to do it. Oh, that's one of mine. Where's the one that's trying to kill us? There's too many damn boars around. Right, I can just do this. Okay, right there. Allison, I'm gonna ask you to... Wait. Was this one of mine? No, it's wild, so why can't I prioritize her hunting it? Oh, because she's drafted. Right. So that should get her to kind of move around intelligently and try to engage it. Hopefully. Come on. I should probably draft you at that point. Oh, that cooldown sometimes. Well, it's bleeding, so it should slow down. Oh good, Bruce is already on it. Nice. Okay. Yeah, haul that to the freezer, please. Right, so I wanted an arcade table thingy. What do you call it? So, where is that? Here it is. I guess I couldn't figure out where I wanted it, or maybe I just forgot to choose. I think right here is kind of nice and out of the way, though, or even up here. Is that here? We'll line it up with that on this side. That's a decent spot for it. And I'll get a bench there too. But we'll start getting those arcade cabinets assembled. So what we have to do is build the bench, and then the bench will take one of these and one of these as components and essentially fuse them into something that we can place as like furniture. Nutrient paste meals, I guess I'll allow those. And somebody should haul them, I suppose. One thing I think I want to do as well is, because this isn't being considered a prison area right now, and I do want it to be one, so I'm going to go to furniture and just get a sleeping spot. And I'll throw it down like here. And then if I mark that for prisoners, this will become a prisoner area, and you see this change colors, indicating that this is now for prisoners only. So I won't have colonists coming in here to snack on nutrient paste. Which they shouldn't have been doing anyways, because we have better quality meals around, but for whatever reason, that's what they were doing. So this now makes this a prison area, and means they won't really come in here to hang out very often. so that only really the prisoners frequent this area. Are you guys going to leave anytime soon? We're just missing... Do we have everybody? That's only 4. Oh, someone's out there waiting for us. Tone was ready to go like an hour ago. These guys are just lagging. Alright, so looks like they're off. And I'm going to ask Virgil, cutting palm trees, can you come do this? This is a little bit more important than cutting palm trees. Other people can cut palm trees. Alright, so they're off. Oh, also, somebody's been reminding me, and I can't recall the name, but somebody's been reminding me that, yeah, these aren't connected to anything, so I need to fix that. I'll just do what I did on the other side and run it like that. But yeah, these have just been decorative, essentially, so that's fixed now, or at least it will be. Alright, so looking over here, I've noticed that a lot of this terraforming has gotten done, so I'm going to continue filling in this fence, which I believe should be something like that. And we'll do it along here as much as the terrain will allow as well. Yeah, so that's too wide. Why is that not... Are they already there? I think they're already arrived. I mean, that makes sense. It's been the better part of a day, and it shouldn't have taken them that long. No, pause, please. Thank you. Amanda's about to break. She's not happy with that leg. Okay, so fill that in now that the terrain allows for that as well. And then if we go back to fences, chain link fence here and here, here and here. And I should do the same over here as well. Okay, so those are enclosed spaces now, or at least in theory. When the fences get finished, they will be. Then I will allow them to go in and start building the concrete bunkers, which I'll have to copy over to that one, obviously. And then I got to figure out what I'm going to do with these spaces on the end here. I'm not sure, to be honest. We could have like public restrooms set up or something. I don't know, but we do have a little bit of space on the end of either of these to work with, so I should try to utilize it for something. It's not a lot of space, but we could certainly fit something there. Right, so let's hop over here, and that is our destination. So here's what I'm gonna do. Riker, you've got the closest thing to a sniper rifle, so why don't you set up there? Bruce, I'm going to ask you to run across and set up in that corner. Boss, you go there. Gomez, I'm going to put you probably next to Riker, or at least close to Riker. And then Tone, I'm going to have you run over to... I don't know. Maybe here? I do worry about them like firing past if somebody spawns in here, but I'm fairly certain we're going to be ambushed. Maybe I'll send you over here. Sure. You and Boss run over there. Okay, so off they go. Waiting for that ambush. And since Tone, I think, is the worst shooter among us, I'll have him push to the door. Oh, but the door's on the other side. Alright, Boss. Set up here. Bruce, set up next to him. Riker, you go there, and Gomez, you go here. And Tone, make your way to the door. There it is. Oh, wow, they're like right on top of us. How many are there? Is it just those 2? We are like very exposed though. I think it's just the 2. Okay, Bruce, get back in there. Gomez, I guess get to the tree. And Riker, set up behind that tree. Tone, go there. Boss, go here. Actually, what's your range? Maybe get behind that. Alright, light them up. We gotta be careful. These guys can one-shot us. Well, maybe not because we've got plate carriers on, but we've seen in our other the Fallout playthrough that one of these Lancers shot our colonist Hobbs in the chest and it killed him instantly. Alright, so is that it? I see the animals wandering. Nobody's shooting at us as far as I can tell. Yeah, I think we're in the clear. So, Tone, you're going to go ahead and check this out. We will try to bring those corpses back with us. Alright, so let's see. Carl Gustav here. The KC or K2C. Oh wow, this is a really good weapon. Excellent quality. It's called the Manic Cheetah. This weapon bears a depiction of a solitary witch doctor near a town. The scene takes place on the outskirts of a settlement. Okay. And then we have this Dinosaur Fuzz formal spy outfit. So, I believe we're done here. It was pretty straightforward. So, let's jump out to the world map. And we will reform our caravan. Obviously, we're bringing all of this. All of the medicine, everything that you guys have gathered. Both Lancers, which is going to slow us down considerably. But, because we brought the animals, we have a lot more carry capacity than we would have otherwise. Obviously, we want the guns, and we'll bring the clothing, because why not? It's actually worth a lot for clothing. Okay, so your route is home. And off you go. That was very, very easy. Next time we get some traders, we'll have to see if there's any missions we can do. Because I find the missions quite enjoyable. They keep things interesting when we're not being raided. And I definitely like being on the offensive rather than the defensive. Especially in this scenario where we're trying to defend a theme park and not like a fortified military encampment. But again, that's something that we'll work toward. Defenses will become a priority. Just right now, it's hard because we're constantly expanding in every direction. And so there's no real good way to be sort of proactive about it and future-proof. So I've been putting in sandbags just so that we have something to get behind when we get into these firefights, but every time we put down a new building, I have to move the sandbags, and so it's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Did that arcade cabinet ever get finished? It did. Cool. So let's set up a bill. I need to see... What is this? Interesting. So we can basically set someone up as a coder, effectively, that sits on this bench and makes homebrew cartridges. And it looks like... So what does this do? Because we have empty arcades and we have cartridges. This is saying copy. Does it not use up? Got it. Okay, so this is what I was looking for. It effectively produces games we already have from games we already have. So I should probably do that before I use any of these up. That way I always have a backup copy of these. I'm trying to think. Like, I need a stockpile to put them. Not that they deteriorate anything. It's just obviously not ideal to have them sitting out in the middle of nowhere. I guess this is fine. So let's see. Not food, obviously. It would be probably either manufactured or items. I'm guessing items. I'm not seeing it though. Arcades. Yeah, so they should be getting hauled. I don't know why they're not. Probably just not a very high priority. Anyways, I am going to ask that all of our cartridges get duplicated before we make anything with them. I don't need to do that one right now. Okay. I'm gonna ask that it gets done once. Okay, so our Rumination military suppliers left the area. But yeah, so this way we'll have 2 of everything, and then we can use one of them to produce an arcade cabinet and keep one in reserve. And if we want to have multiple arcades, we can just continue duplicating them so that there's always sort of like a master copy, and then the other one just gets used in cabinet. Excuse me. Alright, so I've also asked them to start mining this little bit here. I'm going to leave this wall just so that this can remain in interior space as long as we need it to. But I'd like everything that's not necessary for that to be gone. That way we can continue sort of, I'm not sure what the correct word is there, just sort of updating or working in that general area, doing what we need to do. Obviously working around this, but doing so in a way that sort of minimizes what we need to work around. I'd also like to ask them to start tilling the soil right here. In fact, I think that whole area can be tilled. So let's just do that. And then we'll do, again, what I've done over here, where we're going to plant the berry bushes, and then I'll try to get them to grow some trees in that area, but it might just kind of let it get taken over with the sort of natural foliage that fills it in. Though I wish they would fill in a little bit more densely. But yeah, I just want this to be full of green, basically. Let the plants take it over, so it's sort of decorative, and that should line up more or less with, that's all stone there. Yeah, it looks like it lines up. Okay, just making sure. We got cargo pods. What are they? Nutrient solution. Interesting. That is a modded item, definitely. I'm just not sure quite what it does. We'll find out soon enough, though, I'm sure. What else? What else? I've got a bunch of organic pulp. Is there anything I want to make out of it? We could do these. Do I have the steel for that? Where's my steel? Yeah, I do. These are basically just like tool cabinets. They sort of provide bonuses to whatever the bench is doing, which, I mean, that's not super critical for the pulper or anything, but I just figured it would look nice to have these laid out kind of consistently, and so it doesn't really hurt to have them. So I'll allow them to get built there, and that'll use up the majority of our pulp, but we'll still have like 12 left. Actually, I wonder if it would make more sense to have one here. That's not a particularly taxing job either. It does require skill, but it's not like it's something that takes a long time to do, like research or building a gun. Okay. Oh, hey, I just panned over the prison, and look who's wearing their prisoner outfit. It doesn't appear to be the one that he was supposed to be wearing, but he's wearing one, so I'm pleased. So that worked. So thank you again to Death by Ego for testing all that out, because it obviously went quite easily. Whereas before he probably wasn't going to do it. So we'll set him back to force to work. And he should just kind of, you know, go back to doing whatever he was doing, which should be making components, though. Yeah, we're basically at capacity. Also, people keep stealing steel from here for some reason. I am going to ask them to fill this wall in, I believe. If we want to mine out that steel, we'll just get at it from the other side. Not that far to go around. So there's that. Those are unlocked. Make sure these are locked. Okay. And how much power do you guys require? 80 each. Do we have the power for that? I think so. So I'm going to basically just have these on forever, indefinitely. And that way, again, if there is an attempted prison break, they're already sort of on the job. Though with one prisoner, that's never going to happen. I think you need a minimum 2 prisoners to actually have a prison break. So, not super necessary now, but for 160 watts, it's no big deal. No big deal. I also need to figure out where I want our permanent growing zone to be. I think it's going to be... I think I talked about this before, but in the northern half of the park, either on the western half or the eastern. It looks like west would be easier just because it's already open terrain. But we're just going to have like a big industrial farm where we're growing all of our stuff. And I would like some aquaculture basins as well. Who is this? Oh, it's Ares. I thought it was a pawn or a colonist. I forgot that we have a boar that's been bonded and tamed. The king of boars, at least the king of our boars. So yeah, that Brontosaurus, did it leave already? Don't tell me it left. I think it left. Nope. There it is. Yeah, so I'd like to set up a pen. I do need to do some planning first though, because I think around this main square anyways, I'd like these to be buildings, but then what I'd like to do is just kind of continue this pattern down. So this is what, 27? Yeah. So let's take our planning tool, and if we go 27 down, that means there should be a road here, and we'll fill this in. And that can continue on down as well. But we can use this as an enclosure space. So I think we'll start with chain link fences and we'll see if that's adequate. But we're going to run a chain link fence. That's going to be a problem. I'll need to terraform that. Chain link fences all along here. It's going to be a lot of steel to do this. And I'll just kind of leave this kind of awkward cutout around that walkway. And I do need like an entry. Sort of like an airlock system so the animals don't get out. But before we do that, let's go to our terraforming tool. There it is. So this needs to be soil. And let's see, marshy soil there. I'll make that marshy soil too. And then once that becomes marshy soil, we'll turn it into regular soil. So I think right about here, I'm going to have a gate. So let's take this and kind of fold it back in on itself. Maybe like that. And then we'll do like 1, 2, 1. Something like this, I think. Just so that it'll be very hard for anything to get in or out that isn't what we want going in or out. Maybe even some more space. Let's bring this down a little bit. Okay, so something like that. Where's that security bunker? There it is. I'll just grab them from here. And we'll put one in each of those. Then if we go to floors, I'm going to do striped tiles along here, I suppose. Yeah. And we'll have some concrete jutting out from that, I think. Something like that. Sure. Maybe we'll do the striped tiles there as well. Actually, that does present a problem though, because I'd like to have bushes around any fences I have. So let me fix that real quick. I'm gonna basically bring everything in one tile so that I can do again the bushes instead of just having chain link fence exposed. Okay, so that's finished. It is going to require more terraforming work than it did initially because there's more unsuitable terrain that we have to deal with. But we're going to have this big enclosure area here that should provide plenty of grazing room for any herbivores we put in there. And we can also put in like a shelf to supplement that with kibble if we have to. I also decided that this little space here wasn't big enough to bother using as part of the enclosure, so I think this is going to be another area for people to just kind of come sit and hang out. So what I've done is I have, actually I should extend this a little bit. I've done tilled soil everywhere around it, except for in this little location here and this location here so that they can walk in and out. And we'll roof it off, but this will be like another outdoor patio area. That way people can like sit and have lunch while they watch the dinosaurs do their thing if they want. Though I imagine it would smell quite bad. Lizards in general smell, so dinosaurs are just big lizards, so bigger smell, right? Anyway, how far out are you guys? Oh, you're basically home. I'm kind of tempted to like attack an enemy base or something. I guess we'll get home and see. We'll do a little bit of weapons testing with that Carl Gustav. If that thing's like a multi-shot weapon, then maybe we will go hit one of those outposts. Not outposts, sorry, one of the actual bases. Though that will trigger retaliation, so we'll have to be careful. I think we have like airstrikes we could utilize as well. If we really wanted to, we could call in like an airstrike on them and then light up some of their defenses with the Carl Gustav and then go from there. Alright, so we just finished our research for military grade turrets. Let's actually take a look at that. So I assume it's going to be under security. Military grade turret. Doesn't really show me what that is. Though there is this autocannon turret, which is pretty interesting looking. Like, there's no gun on this. A more powerful variant of an automated turret. Longer dual barrels provide increased range and greater burst. Has a higher chance to explode. I think that's when it's destroyed, though. That's still not great range. Like, so for example, if we put it where Virgil's standing, that's the range that we can expect. Versus Virgil's gun is, you can see, at least one tile superior in every direction. And he's carrying an M4, which is a carbine. It's not a full rifle. Marin is carrying an M16, and you can see, I think she's even 2 out from that. So, depending on the type of gun people are carrying, they will potentially be able to outrange those turrets, though it's not nearly as bad as this, which is just pathetic. What about you? This is bigger. But that is better range, though it is also very expensive. But only really in terms of plasteel. The actual steel and component costs are not that much different. I don't have a lot of plasteel, though, so that's a bit of an issue. But that's something to consider. The more automated our defense is, the less we have to worry about sort of like sallying out all of our defenders to whatever location is being attacked. So that would certainly help. But the turrets themselves can be overrun easily, so that's another thing to consider, is we still have to supplement them with something. Okay, caravan is home. They never slept anywhere, so I don't think beds are an issue. No, they're not. Looks like everybody still has their bed. Okay, good. Amanda is still having a terrible time. Recreation deprived. Some of these are your own fault. Like, go take a bath and then go play horseshoes or chess or something. I'll probably need to put down... I suppose I could do it in here. Let's see. If we go to recreation, I'll do a wooden chess table there. And then if we go to UN furniture, we'll just do some little wood log stools on either side. Again, using wood because I have a lot of it and it's cheap. And then I'll add some color to this room. But we'll just get a little chess table in there so that the people that are working in this building will have an easier time doing recreation, because I think part of the issue is that they, like she, for example, sleeps in here and works in here, so she rarely ever leaves this building to actually do anything. Though she's off to use the prison bathroom, it looks like. Yeah, and she rode a dino all the way in to do it. Adrian, you don't really look to be working at all. Why is that? Oh, hello. I like how it fell right in front of the screen, too. Hopefully the rain puts that fire out. We'll see, I guess. How are we going to deal with this? Let's pause here, figure out a strategy. So this will provide us with some defense. I guess I did say I wanted to do a weapons test, so what happened to the Carl Gustav? There it is. Does it say if it's a single shot? It's an 84mm man-portable reusable anti-tank recoilless rifle. Okay, so that's what it is. Though it is still firing like a, you know, a explosive. So, blah, blah, blah. So, although most rounds fired work on the classic recoilless principle, modern rounds sometimes add a post-firing booster that technically makes it a rocket launcher. That's what I thought. Anyways, I don't see anything to indicate that it's a single shot. Oh, right in front of my face. High penetration, reusable. So yeah, we can fire it more than once. The question is, who gets the honor of firing this thing? Edward, you're not a terrible shot, right? I guess, at least for this raid, he can be the one to fire it, because this gun is not going to have a whole lot of range. So, we'll set him up in here maybe, and just kind of wrap everybody else around this. The chunks will provide cover. So 50%, I think they're the same as sandbags, right? No, sandbags are a little bit better. So, as much as it's a pain to do, I'm going to ask them to build some sandbags out here. Build it up to the tree, I guess, because trees give a little bit better cover. Though they are more flammable. Put some there. And then we'll do something kind of like this, I think. Hopefully that's enough. We could also set some people up on this side, but I don't know that that's necessary. So we'll have to hope that they get that done relatively quickly. I don't think there's a lot of, well, there is a lot of building projects now that I've queued all this up down here. But what I can do is, if I do that, no, it's not going to let me. I was hoping I could just forbid all of it for a second, but I don't think that's going to work. We might just have to use the chunks as cover. Well, I think this is as good a place to stop as any, so I'll go ahead and call it here and figure out our defenses, either get them to build these sandbags manually or just say screw it and use the chunks as cover, but either way we'll get some sort of protection for ourselves ready, and then in the next episode we'll deal with the ship. And in so doing, we will get to test our new weapon. This is a really good gun too. I should give it to somebody. It's got pretty solid range. The gun itself has no, never mind. I was gonna say it looked like it had a 40mm grenade launcher, but that's just a foregrip, and it looks like an under barrel mounted flashlight. Still a really good gun, so I should give that to someone. Maybe Virgil. Virgil, what's your gun look like? 36. It's pretty comparable. Suppose it really doesn't matter. We'll just make sure somebody uses it. Anyways, that's where I'll leave it for today. So thank you so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.